What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Married to Medicine Season 7 Reunion Part 1. So we start the reunion. Y'all know how they do at the beginning of the reunion. That Bravo Andy is going around talking to everybody. We see people showing up and getting their makeup and hair done. But the one thing we find out is that Simone and Dr. Jackie are not in a good place. Uh, Andy says, "Hey, where's Jackie?" You know, he goes into Simone's dressing room. He said, "Hey, where's Jackie? Because normally you guys, y'all share a room." And Simone said, "Well, things change." And then she went on to make a comment about, "Would you choose me as your best friend or Heavenly?" And so that lets you know that there's some tension going on between Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, and that Heavenly is somewhere in the mix, honey. Y'all know I don't get into all of the fashions and all that good stuff, but I will say that I loved Simone's bob. I mean, her hair, her little bob cut. That's actually like the way Simone's hair is actually. I'm trying to grow my hair into right now. But I liked Simone's little tuxedo. Um, I didn't like Jackie's makeup and hair. I thought it made her look old. Um, Maybe it was just me. I loved Quad's look. Um, I actually liked Mariah's look this year. Mariah usually don't do it for me. Wasn't crazy about Contessa's. Was not crazy about Contessa's. Something is off with Heaven. I don't know if it's the weight loss or what. I don't know what's going on with that. With that. Toya, she looks nice. Nobody I absolutely hated. There were people I didn't like as much, but I didn't absolutely hate. Well, no, that's a lie. I just said I hated Jack. I did, but I didn't hate Jack because I thought it was ugly. I thought it dated her. I just thought it made her look old. But that's just me. Okay, so there's that. Y'all know I'm not gonna sit here and break down each outfit. No, y'all know I ain't doing all that. So now look, part 1 is a filler. Y'all know how they do. Y'all, they want to stretch this thing out for 3 episodes. And which was weird, they stretched it out for 3 episodes, but then they gave us episode 1 and 2 tonight. You might as well just made it 1 episode. But anyway, so the first hour was really just filler, y'all. We talked about quad dating. They revisited that double date that Heavenly sent her on. They talked about her requirements or what she's looking for in a man, and they talked about what the status of her marriage was and that it is final. She is 100% divorced. We found out that Cecil, and y'all know, I'm apologize, y'all. I, for some reason, insist on calling Dr. Jackie's husband Cecil. The man's name is Curtis. So I apologize. I keep saying Cecil, but I know who Cecil and Curtis are. Anyway, but we found out that Cecil is still friends with Dr. Gregory and that they've actually hung out. Simone said that, they've hung out recently and that he does have a new girlfriend that someone he's seeing. And Quad, oh, sorry. And Quad, shady self was, Andy gonna say, well, does it bother you to find out that he's dating, an attractive woman? Because, Simone made sure to say she was attractive. Quad said, he was dating the whole time we were married, so why would it bother me now? I said, well, um, and of course they talked about, how horrible of a job Heavenly did. Heavenly was like, well, y'all can think y'all can do better. Everybody on the panel felt like they could do better than what Heavenly did and set Quad up on a date, honey. Bravo Andy asked Quad, does it bother you that that Simone is still friends with Gregory? And he said no. She said no, I'm fine with that. Like, I have a problem with, she said, I don't have a problem with that because I think it would be a bad thing for them to stop being his friend because of a divorce. Um, what else did they talk about? They talked about the common statement that Dr. Heavenly made about Common, and Quad sleeping together. And she said it was a joke. I was just playing. I don't know nothing about what they did or didn't do. It was just a joke. Somehow they got on hall passes and who each person's hall pass would be. And it was the usual suspects. We had Aquaman, we had Idris Elba, we had Barack Obama, LL Cool J, the usual suspects. I mean, I think the only one that kind of threw me off was Mariah. She said Adam Levine or J. Cole. So she sort of saved herself with the J. Cole thing. Um, what else? And that was pretty much again a filler, not a whole lot. That was pretty much with that particular scene. Then we got into Simone and Quad and what happened with the crab brawl and everything else, and how at the beginning of the season they weren't really rocking with each other. And Simone was on ready, honey. Simone was ready to go. She said, I've apologized. I don't know what else I can say. I'm done with it. And Quad said, hold up. I want to say I am sorry. And I want to extend my sincerest apologies. I was in my feelings, I was hurt, and I was wrong. And that diffused the whole situation. And it was sort of kind of like, all right, well, let's move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Then we got to the kids and the kids growing up. And of course, we saw the scene where they're trying to teach Mariah's daughter to drive. They're teaching Simone, they're teaching the son to drive, and all the different things. They're showing um Dr. Heavenly's daughter growing up with, with lip gloss and stuff on. And they were just basically talking about the kids growing up and, the growing pains and stuff. And Heavenly being very honest about the fact that it's hurting her feelings that baby girl is growing up and, don't want to be up under them anymore. But we saw that throughout the season. So we saw that go down. Um, they talked about Toya's housewarming, and they talked about the fact that it was a housewarming party where people weren't allowed in the house. And Toya said, well, I'm going to let them in my house. Because it's a housewarming. Like, the purpose of a housewarming is to see somebody's house. You want to have this housewarming and make everybody stay outside the whole time. She said, look, it was a celebration of us getting the house and the house being built and us moving in. Anybody who's a real friend of mine will be invited at another event and they will get a tour. And I said, well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. But Toya, she always got her way of looking at stuff. Okay. Um, And they got on this whole thing about talking about the girls, being horny, and they, did flashbacks of different things throughout the season of them making sexual comments and all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, honey, they got on the paint sip, child, and they revisited that paint sip. I mean, the paint sip was what it was, honey. The paint sip was what it was. They talked about Toya's miscarriage, and um, they just sort of talked about that, and they talked about how they're not ready for more kids. I mean, they want more kids. I don't think Toya's ready. I think Eugene is, and she talking about something they supposed to be doing a pullout. Who does that? The pullout method ain't worked. Well, it ain't never worked. And Contessa even said it. She said the pullout method. Who is doing the pullout method these days? So then we bring out Miss Buffy, and let me say this. I think sometimes 2020, hindsight is always 2020. And before they could really go deep into the whole Jackie telling everybody Buffy's business, they just did the little montage and everything. And before Buffy could get real deep into it, Jackie gave probably the most sincere apology, and she said, I truly, truly did not mean to do that. She saw the footage of Buffy crying and everything. She said, and I'll be honest with you, if I could have a child, I would have a child and give it to Buffy. Like that is how much I want for her. And what we found out is that her husband was closed to the idea of adoption because they have embryos. And I feel like her husband wanted them to fully exhaust the idea of embryos of surrogacy and everything before they dig deeper into getting into adoption. And Buffy said that she was caught up on the pregnancy piece. She didn't want to do the surrogacy because she wanted to be able to carry her own children. She wanted the feeling of the baby growing inside of her. She wanted to go through delivery. Like she wanted the experience. And But she said that they've talked. She said the best thing about what happened this season is that she was able, that it brought things up that she'd been suppressing. She was able to talk those things out, and her husband have agreed. And she said after seeing Gabrielle Union and Candy and somebody else she named. Oh, Bravo. I mean, Andy. She said, after seeing you all and how open you were about your surrogacy and everything, I've definitely become open to the idea. And they've actually met with the surrogate and they're going to move forward with surrogacy. And Jackie even um, said she delivered the babies. And come to find out, Jackie is now starting her own business where she's going to be, I guess, an agent for like hook women up with surrogates or whatever. Jackie, she look, can't be mad at the hustle. You can't be mad at the hustle, but at the same time, I'm like, Jackie, slow your ass down. But okay, okay. Um, but I do think they made a sincere amends. And Buffy even said, I accept your apology, and I would like for us to hang out outside of here and outside of the group where it's just the two of us so that we can really get to know each other and work on our friendship. So I thought that was a great thing. Um, and then they talked about Miss Buffy and her whole, success is lonely and people look down on me and da 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 da. I don't think she necessarily received it. I think in her mind she felt the way she felt, and that was what it was. They called for lunch, and when they called for lunch, Jackie went up to her again and once again made another apology, and she, again once again said, "Look, I it was never my intention. Never my intention." And I believe Jackie was really sincere. Um, I believe she was sincere, and I believe she was sincere before. And again, I don't need to continue to rehash it. They talked it out, they resolved it, they apologized, an apology was accepted, and that's all you can do. Now, look, I told y'all the first episode wasn't nothing but a bunch of filler. That's it for the first episode, okay? So that was part one. Now let's get ready to jump into part two.